In this guide, I'll show you how to create a Google Form survey questionnaire. So the first thing we need to do is just head over to google.com, and you need to make sure you're signed in to your Google account. From the top right hand side, select this kind of square icon and then come over to Google Drive. From the left, select New, come down to Google Forms and select this little arrow right next to it. So we have a bunch of different options inside of it. You can either choose to create a blank form, or if you did want to create a form from a template, then we can also go ahead and select that. And now there's a bunch of different templates that we can choose from, but if you want full customization over your form, then I'd recommend going ahead and selecting a blank form. So once you're inside of your form, the first thing that we're going to do is give it a name. For this example, I'm just going to type in survey. Then give your form a description. For my description, I'll just type in a survey for YouTube. Now you also have some basic customization options inside of here, like bold and italics. And if you want more control over the customization and the formatting, we can head over to this customize theme option at the top here, and you can change all of your font text and sizes and things like that, as well as changing the color at the bottom down here. So there's a bunch of different things that we can do inside of our form, like collect email addresses, we can add check boxes, we can collect names. And in order to create a new section for your form, you need to head over to this plus icon in the top right hand side. And let's add our first question. So let's say that you wanted to collect someone's first name. We can just go ahead and type that in here. Then come over to the drop down on the right, and you can select the type of input that we're going to be adding. So because this section is for collecting first names, the best selection for this is probably going to be a short answer, as it's just a little bit of text, so I'm going to select that. And you can also decide whether you want this to be mandatory or not. So if you have this required option checked, it basically just means that you can only submit the form once you've entered your first name. So that's our first entry completed, and let's go and add another one by clicking the add symbol here. And let's say for this input we wanted to add a multiple choice questionnaire. So for my question, I'm going to type, how would you prefer to be contacted? And then we can select this multiple choice from the drop down. You could even do check boxes if you'd prefer, and then just go ahead and declare your options. So I could type something like email and then add another option here. And I'm going to add another one for phone. And also the last one I'll add is going to be mail. And once again, you could decide whether you want this optional or mandatory. And then finally, let's go and add one more to our form here. And let's say we wanted a section at the bottom where we can allow our form users to type in some custom text of their own. So let's call this one notes, for example. And for this one, we're probably going to want to set this to paragraph, as this allows for longer text like so. And I think that about does it for me and my form. Obviously, you can add a bunch more stuff inside of your form. We've got file uploads and drop downs, a whole bunch of stuff that you can add inside of here. Obviously, this all comes down to really personal preference. So once you've finished and you're happy with your form, what you need to do to share this to your customers and the people you're sending it out to is click on send in the top right hand side, and you can either invite people by typing in their email address here, or we can just go ahead and click this link button and you can copy the link like so. You can also shorten the URL, and that's just going to make it look a little bit tidier. And we can basically send this link out to all of our friends and family. So let's come back over to the form here, and all of your responses for the form for people that have filled it out will be saved underneath responses. And if you want a little bit more customization over the form, you can also head inside of settings, and there's just a couple of little things we can change in here as well. So if I now head over to my form in a new URL like so, you can see this is what it looks like. And it's as simple as that, guys. That's how you create a form inside of Google Documents. If you did find this video helpful, then please consider dropping a like and subscribing.